on our agenda to meet with us. So we're going to give the floor to Mr. Fossick. He's going to speak. If there's anybody else that Mr. Fossick indicated there's some for it, some against it. If you have an issue, you need to call ahead and be on the agenda to be addressed. If you're either are, but Mr. Fossick did call to be on the agenda, so therefore it's his fault.
Sorry, I'm finishing the paperwork real quick. Okay. Thank you very much for seeing me or seeing us. I'm not going to say anything that's okay. I think we disrespectful. I think we can all sit. I have some things, a letter and some ideas I'd like to present. But first, if I could ask you all a few questions, if you don't mind, on the matter of the drag strip near Yoli. I'd like to do that. Is that okay?
Sure.
Has a Mr. Ronnie Moss appeared before you all and asked for any funds to be spent or anything on behalf of this drag strip?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how long ago was that?
I believe it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago.
Have there been any discussions or decisions based on that appearance?
There's been discussions, but no decisions.
Has there been any further information from Mr. Moss?
No.
Was it requested?
It was.
Okay.
And the request there was some kind of a plan as to what is being proposed. We wanted to see a plan as to how the entrance exits were going to be laid out, as well as a plan of the whole project.
Were there any deadlines imposed by you or by him regarding?
Well, we asked for some kind of plan. He indicated he'd have something back to us within a couple weeks.
Okay.
And like I said, it's been 3 weeks ago since that's taken place.
Okay. So I guess summarizing, he appeared, asked for some things, has not gotten back to you, even though you requested it. Right. Okay. At the risk of boring everyone in the room to tears, I do have a letter here. I'd like to read it to you if I could. I have an original and 2 copies. I'll let you. That's sufficient. I also have some letters from some other neighbors that couldn't be here. To the Lincoln County Commission. Let's get past the address and things like that. Dear Lincoln County Commissioners, I am a resident taxpayer and voter from northern Lincoln County, just south of Eolia. If the proposed drag strip project proposed by Ronnie Moss of Montgomery County and or Mid-America Raceway Park is built and opened, much of my property will be rendered unsuitable for the livestock, agricultural, residential, and recreational uses that I now peacefully enjoy. This would adversely affect the income of my family farm, as well as the market value, not to mention the sudden and irreversible lifestyle changes to the area for myself, my neighbors, and the overall community. I believe that it would detrimentally affect the entire area covered by zip code 63344. I'm asking the Lincoln County Commission reject any requests for funding or assistance to the drag strip project or any associated projects. Lincoln County taxpayers should not be burdened with infrastructure costs for a private commercial project, especially one that is strongly opposed to by the immediate neighbors and outlying community. Surely there are roadways and existing public projects that are more in need of funding than this private commercial project. It is also requested that Cannonball Road not be allowed to be paved or altered, even if federal, state, or private funding may later materialize to do so, as even the annual maintenance-only costs would burden Lincoln County taxpayers. Before considering any funding requests from Mr. Moss, I request that the Lincoln County Commission require Mr. Moss or his investment group to provide the community via the Commission with an overall plan for and description of the project. Items of concern to the community include names of and contact information for all responsible parties, such as investors and managers, noise level studies and proposed noise abatement measures, air pollution studies and proposed air pollution abatement measures, ground and groundwater pollution studies and proposed abatement measures. It's my understanding that the Missouri Department of Natural Resources requires a land disturbance permit, and a DNR would also require for any septic systems or runoff control basins. Procedures for monitoring crowds during the ingress and egress of an event within 3 miles of the drag strip, most notably on Highway 61 itself, Cannonball Road, White Lane, Adams Road, Highway F, and Highway Z in Lincoln County, and Old Highway 61, Green Street, North Main Street, and South Main Street in Neonia. Procedures to prevent illegal and improper use of public roadways and rights-of-way by drag strip, its employees, contractors, participants, and spectators. Measures to prevent, if not eliminate, drag strip-related trash and litter in the community. Plans to compensate local residents and landowners for damage caused by drag strip, its employees, contractors, participants, and spectators. Plans to guarantee neighboring residents and their associates full access to and use of public roadways without traffic congestion delays or safety issues during events. Projected costs for sheriff, EMS, and fire department services for Lincoln and Pike counties. Number of full-time and part-time jobs expected to be created, along with general wage and benefit package information, and assurance that preference will be given to local applicants. An audited report of the beneficial financial impact to the area, an audited report of the negative financial impact to the area, such as property devaluation due to loss of use, costs to repair accidental and vandalism damage, etc. And to hold an informational meeting with the community before excavation begins. I'd like to note that that was promised to me when I spoke to Mr. Moss on October 2nd. However, when I revealed to him that his closing date, according to his own information, was, excavation date was the 21st, he said, well, I guess we can't do it then. So, I feel that the above concerns are just some of the matters that any responsible business would address before locating in any area. Having spoken personally with Mr. Moss on October 2nd, 2010, I was not convinced that any of the above had been investigated or addressed. Therefore, I sent Mr. Moss a letter via certified mail on October 2nd, 2010. This letter was not picked up as of this morning. Having not heard directly from him since, I therefore ask the Commission to act on behalf of the community and require a plan for review from Mr. Moss so that Lincoln County and the community can be assured that if this project goes forward, it does not cause irreversible damage to the area by neglect of laws or procedures or lack of disclosure. As Mr. Moss advises that he plans to close on the purchase of the property within approximately 7 to 10 days, I would appreciate it if the Commission could contact Mr. Moss immediately. I would also request that the Commission keep me informed of any contact with or plans received from Mr. Moss. Your help in this matter is deeply appreciated. Sincerely, Tom Foster. That is the bulk of my presentation, and I would like perhaps a few of my neighbors to perhaps share some thoughts, if that's okay with you.
I am a neighbor, and I would like to show hands with who here agrees with Mr. Foster just read and supports that with his position. Majority of the people in this room. Also, we're circulating petitions just to get names. I understand that there's no planning and zoning. I talked to him one on the phone with Sean. And we understand that, but there are other considerations which I'm clearly laying out. My name is Paul Talley, by the way, sorry. And so we are getting these petitions. We have names. We have lots of support in the community, a vast majority of the community, Lincoln and Pike County. That's all.
Paul, since you and I talked the other day, and we met with Tom up on the county road there on Cannonball Road last
I'm a
week.
little more presentable today.
Didn't quite recognize that. Since then, we do have a call into our prosecuting attorney to see as to what the county commission can do and can't do. Since we've changed